Bene, den Indiskriminerar den knappen som plus minus 10 på. Tryck på den en. Så. Och när du trycker OK då så sätter den igång dig.
Okay, well, welcome everybody to the third and final day of the iF3 2020 World Cup. My name is John and I'll be the host for this morning, this evening, this afternoon, wherever or whatever time it is across the world, wherever everyone is watching right now. First of all, I'd like to introduce the athletes we've got today, whatever time it is, for the women's 50 to 54-year-old category. We have 5 athletes who will be competing over a number of tests over the next 80 to 90 minutes. They are, of course, from all different corners of the globe. We have, from Switzerland, Nicole Reichmuth. You can wave to the camera. Thanks, Nicole. Lovely to see you here. We also have Camilla Agren from Sweden. Camilla, if you'd like to wave to the camera to show us a hello. There we go. We've also got Anne Sinova Linshen from Norway. And if you'd like to give us a hi, there you go. And we have Mahier Francois from France. If you want to give us a wave as well, Mahier. There we go. Now, we also have Fiona Robertson from the UK, who is taking part in the event. We are having some technical difficulties with her right now, so she is competing, letting you know right now she will be competing. We are having some slight issues with her feed though, so we will have to wait a little bit.
Wenn Sie schon mal rennen, dann
Genau.
kann ich dann einfach
Genau.
irgendwann auch.
Genau.
Schreibst einfach mal ein paar 100 Meter auf.
Genau. Gehst du langsam
Wieso hören wir ihn jetzt nicht?
Weil er jetzt eingefroren ist. Ah nein, er ist...
Nein, er redet.
Ah, ist wahrscheinlich...
We can
Ich glaube, wahrscheinlich ist er irgendwie am Versuchen mit dem anderen. Der noch fehlt irgendwie etwas.
we can also talk to him through the chat and say that we're having. Jetzt. Are you moving, Nicole? No. Soll ich auf Chat gehen? Jetzt sind wir in Einstellungen. Könnt ihr auf Chat gehen und dann...
Also meistens 10 Minuten noch, Standby und dann...
Ja, wir hören nichts.
Sind alle bereit, oder?
All right, athletes. Once again, if I can have all the athletes to their starting positions right now, and we will just begin the first test on the final and third day of the iF3 2020 World Cup. All right, athletes, you are in your starting position. We're about to begin the opening test in 3, 2, 1, go. And there we go, athletes. There is a slight delay in some, about 10 seconds now for the video feed there. But to give you an idea, they are all roughly starting at the same time. Now, for those of you who are tuning in right now who may have missed what exactly the opening test is, as you can see, the athletes are taking part in 7 rounds of 4 by 15 metre runs. That is roughly 50 feet or 60 metres in total. They then complete 10 burpees to a target before another 4 by 15 metre run. And then in the remaining time, they finish as many metres as they can on a concept 2 rowers. So each round takes 2.5 minutes. They will then have a 30-second rest and then start again at the 3-minute mark. So 7 rounds in total, 2.5 minutes of workload, 30-second rest. The workload, once again, involves a combination of shuttle runs, burpees to a certain target, as you can see. The athletes now, and Sonova Lunchken in particular, just finishing her burpees. And then in the time remaining of that 2 minutes 30 of workload, they will complete as many meters as they can on the concept 2 rower. So we are currently 1 minute and 20 into it. So more than halfway through the opening round at the moment. As we can see, the athletes pushing hard, but also trying to conserve some energy. As you can see, it is 7 rounds, not just 1, 7. So there is certain elements of rest and tactics on how hard you go. As we can see, Anne is now on to the rower at the moment, starting the meterage there to see how many she can pull off before the time elapses. We are now into the last 40 seconds of that round. Now just 30 seconds to go, athletes, in the opening round of the first test on the final day of the iF3 2020 World Cup. As we can see, all the athletes now are on the rower, pushing hard as they can to get as many meters as possible before the opening round wraps up in just 10 seconds now, athletes. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. The opening round is now over. You have 30 seconds of rest to go. And for those of you who are tuning into the view, which is now live across the world on YouTube, you can see there is probably a 10-second delay there on some of the athletes, but they are all pretty much roughly at the same time. So once again, if you are watching this, keep in mind there is a slight delay. Athletes, there is 5 more seconds to go. 3, 2, 1, begin your second round. And there we go. We see they're currently going through the second round of the opening test on day 3 of the iF3 2020 World Cup. Once again, for any of those tuning in right now, to give you an idea of what is involved, it is 7 rounds of a running 3-minute clock, you could call it. So 21 minutes in total. Each round is 2 minutes 30 of workload and 30 seconds of rest. In that 2 minutes 30 workload, athletes will be running roughly 60 meters in short little shuttle runs. They'll then complete 10 burpees to a slight target. In this place, it is a 3-inch plate. They'll then do another set of shuttle runs totaling 60 meters before finishing as many meters as they can on the Concept 2 rower. Of course, this is a bit of an endurance test. It is pretty much the ability to keep, keep your heart rate ticking over but not burning out too fast, having the ability to run through those shuttle runs in a nice, efficient time, get through those burpees as fast, as efficiently as you can, and then utilize the time to get the most meters on the rower. Of course, 7 rounds, so there is probably not too much time for resting, but of course you only have 30 seconds of that once we hit the certain time frames of that. Now we are currently just ticking over to the 5-minute mark, so we have got 30 seconds, or not, it's 4.5 minutes, should I say? I've got ahead of myself there. We are 1 minute 30 into the second round. We will be breaking at 5 minutes 30. That is when the second round is finishing up. So another 45 seconds here, athletes. And 30 seconds to go in the second round of the opening test. All athletes are on their rowers, pushing as hard as they can to get the final amount of meters in possible in the second round. There are another 5 to go, so keep in mind athletes will be trying to conserve as much energy as they can. And it is another 10 more seconds, athletes. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now it is rest period for another 30 seconds. And just for those who are viewing at the moment, we will run through the athletes quickly just so everyone has an idea of who we are. We've got Nicole Reichmuth here from Switzerland, who we've just got on the big screen at the moment. We'll keep it on her for the time being just to make sure we get familiar with the 5 athletes we'll be having for the next. We've got 5 more seconds, athletes. 3, 2, 1, and let's go. The third round is beginning. So we have Camilla Argren here from Sweden, currently beginning her third round. Going through those shuttle runs, totaling 60 metres in total. Obviously not exerting too much energy. She's not exactly sprinting, which is totally understandable because she's just about to begin her 10 burpees to that plate target for the third time so far, with 4 more to go. We've also got Mahia Francois all the way over in France at the moment, who's also on her burpees right now. Got a bit of a team behind her as well, as we can see. Coaches, support networks, so forth. It's great to see these athletes with their support networks as well. We know that athletes across the world are obviously in all different time zones. So while it might be daylight for some, it is nighttime for others. So great to see they're not alone there and have some support crew with them. As we now tick over to 7 minutes. So we are 1 minute down into that third round at the moment. And just an update, guys, we will be having some slight technical difficulties throughout the weekend, of course. Internet connectivity, we've got athletes and people using their iPhones and their Androids. So at times we will have certain athletes and teams drop out, but do not fear, they will come back on and we will have them hooked up as soon as possible. Just a note that sometimes you may see certain teams and athletes drop off the screen. That doesn't mean that they are not doing the workload. That just means we need to get them back on the live screen. So don't ever panic. This is just the way and the era and the life that we live in right now, where sometimes technical difficulties do happen. And as I say that, we've got Anson Overlinchkin just rejoined us. Athletes, there are 30 more seconds to go in the third round. $15 seconds to go in the third round, athletes. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest for 30 more seconds before we start the fourth round. And 15 more seconds before we begin the fourth round. 10 seconds remaining. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin the fourth round. And as you can see, a slight delay there in Anne's speed as she begins her fourth round of 7, so almost at the halfway point here. And of course, we are currently watching the feed of Anne Sonoba Linchen all the way over in Scandinavia, representing Norway in the iF3 2020 World Cup. Elsewhere, for those of you who are just tuning in, we have Mahia Francois from France, currently with her team there as she begins her fourth round and into the burpees of that round. Camilla Argren, all the way from Sweden, so another Scandinavian right here. As you can see, seems like there's a bit of daylight in the back there, so some daylight there in Sweden. I'm, of course, based in Melbourne, Australia, where it's just about to become nightfall. So we are operating in all corners of the globe right now as the clock currently ticks over to 10 minutes. So we're 1 minute into the fourth round. We have already completed 3. And we'll be having a break for 30 seconds heading into the fifth round in just over a minute's time. Of course, for those who are tuning in, it is 7 rounds consisting of 2.5 minutes of workload and 30 seconds of rest. That goes for 7 minutes. Of course, the workload involves run, burpee, run, and then in the remaining time, as many meters as you can using a concept 2 rower. As we enter the last 45 seconds of this round, we can see that the 3 athletes on the feed are all into their rowers. So the general way it's been going so far for these first 4 rounds has been roughly athletes giving themselves 45 seconds on the rower. Once again, the harder you go on the rower, keep in mind you only have 30 seconds of rest, and this is obviously a 7-round workout and we're just 5 rounds into it. So probably not a bad idea to conserve some energy as we enter the last 15 seconds, athletes. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest for 30 more seconds. Until we begin the 5th round, should I say. We are now 4 rounds down and 3 rounds to go. So more than halfway through the opening test on the final day, on the 3rd and final day of the iF3 2020 World Cup. 5 athletes in this women's 50 to 54 age category as we have just 5 seconds remaining. 3, 2, 1, begin round 5. So once again, just repeating, guys, we are currently watching, or you are currently watching, we're currently hosting the women's 50 to 54-year-old age group on the final day of the iF3 2020 World Cup. We have 5 athletes who are currently competing in the tests this afternoon or this evening or today, wherever you are. We have Nicole Reichmuch from Switzerland, Camilla Agren from Sweden, Antonova Linchen from Norway, Mahir Francois from France, and we've got Fiona Robertson in the UK, who is currently having some technical difficulties, but we are keeping in touch with her team and we are keeping in touch with her score. So the leaderboard will be accurate and even throughout the day. As we now complete the first minute of the 5th round right now, and we can see that the 3 athletes on the screen, 2 of them are currently on their burpees. One is slightly behind in Mahir Francois. Oh no, I lie, she's actually ahead. She's actually beginning her second part of the saddle run as we cross over to her team right now. And it's just the first one back to the rower. So fairly fast time there by Mahir. That is a split of under 1.5 minutes. So she's given herself a good minute to go as hard as she can on the rower there. As we're now 30 seconds away from resting in the 5th round. As we can see, all the athletes are back on the rower with just 15 seconds remaining in the 5th round of 7. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest for 30 seconds till we begin the 6th of 7th round in the opening test. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, begin the 6th round. Athletes have just now all begun their 6th round of 7th. Once again, repeating, it is a combination, this test, of runs, burpees, more runs, and then a row with max meters at the end. 5 athletes competing in this division. It's women aged 50 to 54. Across the world, we have representatives from Switzerland, Sweden, Norway, France, and the UK. And of course, you can only see 3 on the screen right now, but we have technical difficulties with one of them, and another is probably just trying to get her feed up and running. But 5 athletes competing, majority of those based in or all of them actually, in Europe, and a fair few from Scandinavia too, in fact. As we count down to the end of the 6th round, athletes now just 1 minute into it. Now, the general way this has been going so far today is athletes have given themselves roughly 45 seconds to 1 minute left to row as many meters as they can. And they've been fairly consistent so far for the first 5 rounds. Most athletes sort of sticking to their plan of not going too hard too early. But I dare say the 7th and final round, you'll be seeing a different story with many of these athletes as they enter or pass the halfway point there, with now just over a minute to go before the 6th round is complete. Okay, just 30 seconds remaining in the 6th round as all the athletes are onto their rower, going as hard as they possibly can to get as many meters as possible in the opening test here on time as we head into the 7th and final round of the opening test in the women's 50 to 54-year-old age category. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and begin the 7th and final round of the opening test. Once again, you'll be seeing athletes push a little bit harder here, knowing that there is literally no more rounds after this, just a little rest before the 2nd test of the day. Athletes, once again, for those just tuning in, are running roughly 60 meters or 50 feet in shuttles. They'll then complete burpees to a target, which is in this place a target. As you can see, Mahia Francois just beginning her burpees. They'll then complete after this another run and then get on that rower to complete as many meters as possible. Many athletes have been gaming it so far, strategically taking rests or not going too hard to conserve some energy, but it is the 7th and final round, so I dare say you'll be seeing a lot more ferocious rowing once they hit that rower. As Camilla just wraps up her final burpees here, jumping up in 2 feet off the ground into that plate. There you go. Being well judged there, as you can see, Camilla. Good technique by the judge as well. There you go. She begins her final shuttle runs in this test. With just over a minute to go in this 7th and final round, as Mahia gets to her final row. No doubt she'll be going very hard here to get as many as she can, with her team around her right now over in France. As you can see, she's certainly not leaving anything in the tank there as she hits that row extremely hard. Over in Sweden, Camilla's also on the row up, pushing hard for her final rounds. More seconds remaining. 30 seconds remaining. 15 seconds remaining. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and that is it. As Mahir finishes up her final row, and looks like she's still got a bit of energy left in the tank as she walks away from the rower there. Over in Sweden, we've got Camilla taking a different approach, resting as much as she can to get herself back to a calm heart rate as we enter the second test. So for those of you who are wondering what's exactly happening on today's schedule, we currently have the first test, which is just wrapped up. It was 7 rounds, 2.5 minutes of action and 30 seconds of rest of a workout, or 7 rounds of a workout involving runs, burpees, runs, and then as many meters as possible on a concept 2 rower. We're currently just over 21 minutes into today's test. The clock that you can see right here will be running up towards 80 minutes throughout the day. So we currently have a bit of a break. We've got roughly 14 minutes before we begin the second test of the day. Now that test is 15 minutes, which will consist of athletes finding a 3-rep max shoulder to overhead, however they like. That could be a clean and jerk, a split jerk, a push press, or a strict press. That's what they prefer. And then a 3-rep max overhand deadlift. So pretty much trying to get out there 3-rep maxes of shoulder to overhead and deadlifts in 15 minutes, however they like. We'll go into more details a little bit later in the next 10 minutes, should I say. Right now, though, I think it's probably time for a little bit of a break. As we can see, all the athletes are having a bit of a break. So let's maybe cross to a touch up on our sponsors and a thank you for them so far for making sure this event can go through.
Was ist das? Ja, wir sehen nichts mehr.
Ich kann etwas wieder schneller machen. Wenn ich wüsste, dann ist fertig.
Ich,
Aber den Rest willst du noch.
ist, das
Also wie viele Runden?
ist das normal? Wir sehen nichts mehr.
Das ist schon vorher so.
Ja,
Ja,
okay.
schon ganz pink.
Soll ich sagen, wir sehen nichts mehr?
Ja, schreiben wir mal, ja.
Soll ich auch auf Hotspot wechseln?
Oh, Moment. Irgendwie, ich kann nicht mehr tippen. Ich denke, das ist Frozen. Scheiße.
All right. Well, welcome back to everyone across the world, whatever time it is, wherever you are. We are currently hosting the third and final day of the iF3 2020 World Cup. It is, of course, the women's age group 50 to 54. They have just completed the opening test of the day. There is several of them today over the next 1.5 hours. The first one was, of course, 7 rounds of workloads, or seven rounds of shuttle runs, burpees, more shuttle runs, and then max meters on the rower. We're just about to head into the second test once this clock right in front of you here hits the 35-minute mark. So athletes are currently taking a 14-minute break. They're currently a couple of minutes into that break, and they'll be given another roughly 10 minutes of it. And then once that clock hits 35 minutes, we'll begin the second test, which is, of course, the second workout, which is what we call the workout series, the iF3. And we will be beginning that, roughly, as I said, in about 9 minutes. Now, for those of you who aren't aware of what the test is, it's going to be a 3-rep max shoulder to overhead and a 3-rep max overhand grip deadlift. So basically, the athletes have 15 minutes to decide how they want to do that, whether they want to start with the deadlift first, maybe they want to start with the shoulder to overheads. They can have 2 bars, they can have 1 bar, however they like. They can mix it up however they like, as long as their hands are overhand, meaning it is the same grip that most athletes use to do their clean and jerk, not the alternate underhand overhand grip that many people do to get their 1-rep maxes. So 35 to 50, they've got 15 minutes to get that 3-rep max shoulder to overhead and 3-rep max overhand grip deadlift. But for more information on those workouts, maybe it's best if we show you a video description of the workout so that you can visually see it rather than just have me talk about it. So here is that video description of the workout for all those people across the world right now.
Test 2 of the Masters Cup Final 2020 is a strength test. On a 15-minute clock, find a 3-rep max shoulder to overhead and a 3-rep max overhand grip deadlift. The score is the sum of the heaviest successful 3RM shoulder to overhead and deadlift combined. On the start signal, the athlete will have 15 minutes to set up a 3-rep max shoulder to overhead from a rack and a 3-rep max overhand grip deadlift from the floor. The athlete may make as many attempts as they would like and increase or decrease load in whatever amounts they would like. The athlete may cycle between the lifts as they wish and divide their 15 minutes between lifts as they wish. They are not required to spend a certain amount of time on each lift. Clips must be on the bar before performing any lift. Athletes may use 2 bars. Both bars may start loaded. The athlete may have assistance loading and unloading the barbell. The athlete's scores will be the sum of the heaviest weight lifted on both lifts in kilograms. For the complete movement standards, please see conventional deadlift and shoulder to overhead in the International Functional Fitness Federation's movement standards document.
All right, guys, test number 2, the strength test. This one will be done in your 4 meter by 4 meter square.
Okay, so roughly 7 minutes to go, athletes, before we begin the second
your camera
test.
Is going to be set up
if we can also please
the
get
strength
Mahir's
test.
team
Now,
over in France.
the shoulder to overhead. If you have a wall directly in front of your rack
row,
because the
if we could have the total calories or total meters of the row, please, sent over so we can update our leaderboards. That would be fantastic. To give you viewers at home an idea of where we're at with it all, after the opening test, Nicole Reichmuth has scored just over 1,700 meters in total for the row. And Synnøve Linchen from Norway, just under that, so 1,673 meters. And Camilla Argren was 1,638. We're just waiting for the score from Mahir Francois and how many meters she rode, and then we can update that leaderboard. We're also waiting for Fiona Robertson's score over in the UK as well, and then once we have that, we can update it. Here we go. We've got the total here. I'm just trying to calculate it. If you can hold it there for a little bit longer. My math isn't as amazing as... Okay, looks like it's quite a good score. 2,166 meters it appears to be, which is a phenomenal effort by Mahir. If that is official, then it puts her in first place after the first test. So it looks like it is Mahir who's going to take that first once we... Well, not right now, actually. Sorry, I lied. We haven't got Fiona's score yet. But thank you for that, Mahir, as athletes are now slowly getting themselves prepared for the second test, which once again is 15 minutes for athletes to find a 3-rep max deadlift and a 3-rep max shoulder to overhead. They can do that however they want, whether that's deadlift first or shoulder to overhead. Of course, they can push press it, they can push jerk it, they can strict press it if they'd like. However, they like to get that bar from their shoulders to overhead for 3 times in a row without dropping the barbell. And then, of course, the deadlift 3 times from the ground to their hips. And then, of course, they'll need to do that in the overhand grip position. So just reiterating that for the viewers out there, the grip position is going to have to be an overhand, not an alternate grip, which you'll see a lot of athletes in functional fitness do these days. That alternate grip generally, or in most cases, or for many people, it allows them to get that extra bit of strength and pull a little bit more weight than they would with the overhand grip. So this is probably a test of 3 rep max and an overhand, just in case you're wondering why the athletes are gripping it the way they are. That's the reason why. As we enter just under 4 minutes remaining, athletes, to get your bars and plates and yourselves ready for the second test. As we can see, Camilla Argren, all the way over in Sweden, her team getting her barbells prepared for her. As we can see, we've got the deadlift on the ground. She's got a rack position ready there to go. Over in France, Mahier, who unofficially at this stage looks to be the leader after the first test, having rowed just over 2,100 metres, which is a phenomenal effort, puts her well ahead of the other 3 so far. Of course, we are yet to get Fiona Robertson's score, but unofficially, it looks like she's done a very great row for her. And of course, we are still yet to get Fiona Robertson's score. Just an update there. All right. Well, in the meantime, as we let these athletes put their weights and prepare their bars for the second test, we're going to cross to a bit of a advert to have a bit of a break ourselves. So we'll be back in just a short moment.
Don't touch the ball, it's over. Call it close, but we all know what this is gonna be. You came to fail the test, you met the best, expected chess, but got monopoly. I came and bought you out, I knocked you out, I crouched you out with no apologies.
Ja, ich habe ein bisschen Angst,
Fulfill the prophecy. I just been counting, never lounging, climbing up mountains, bouncing back. Step in the ring, about you step back. They'll learn hot when I get on the track. I like it louder than most. Watching all these shit just buy down to the goat. If I can't decide, I'ma probably get both. We don't celebrate, but right now I'm a toast. Resurrected ghost. Outside, outside, everything around me I create with my mind. Working too hard.
Sehr schön, okay. Jetzt haben wir es.
We can take this outside, outside. Looking at the stars, staring with my mouth wide. I ain't letting nobody stop me this time. Every single level that I reach and I climb. They ask, are you from outside, outside? Everything around me I create with my mind. Working too hard, I don't want no downtime. With my team on, they gon' shine, I shine. Yeah, we can take this. You are just not on my level. I keep my foot on the pedal. I set the tone, I don't settle. I can put fear in the devil. You are just not on my level. I keep my foot on the pedal. I set the tone, I don't settle. We can take this outside, outside. Looking at the stars, staring with my mouth wide. I ain't letting nobody stop me this time. Every single level that I reach and I climb. They ask, are you from outside, outside? Everything around me I create with my mind. Working too hard, I don't want no downtime. With my team on, they gon' shine, I shine. We can take this. You are just not on my level. You are just not on my level.
Okay, athletes, we are just over 1 minute to go until we start the second test. 1 minute remaining right now. 1 minute remaining until the second test gets underway. Now, for those of you who are just tuning in, it's great to have Nicole Reichmuth back all the way from Switzerland. Her feed is now coming back to us, so great to have her back on board. Probably had some technical difficulties before, but it's good to have you back there, Nicole. Just letting you know there is just around 30 seconds remaining until we start this second test, so get yourself ready and we're good to go. Just 30 seconds remaining, athletes. 15 seconds remaining. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the second test is now underway. We'll check out Camilla Argren here, who is just beginning she's starting with shoulders to overhead. As you can see, she's push jerking that 3 times. There you go. She's already got herself a score. Now, it's hard to tell what exactly that weight is. Obviously, there are different plate sizes right across the world, so I won't even bother estimating or trying to make a prediction on what lift each athlete is making. But it would be great if the teams could maybe let us know, or maybe let the camera know sort of what weight they are doing. Of course, if they have the ability to do so, rather than focus on their athletes right now. So most athletes here are actually starting with the shoulder to overheads rather than the deadlift. It seems to have been the trend for the 3 days across the tournament. Most athletes starting with the shoulder to overheads and then moving to the deadlifts after. As we can see, and here is Mahir with another attempt as she split jerks at this time for 1 rep, composes herself again, split jerks again, composes herself, that's a good rep. Now for the third and final, and she sticks it. Lovely. Okay, so the results have just come through for the opening test, which was obviously completed around about 20 minutes ago. I can unofficially read them for you right now, and we'll throw a graphic up actually if we can. We'll see if we can get that file put in place for us. But for those who are tuning in across the world right now, we are into the second test right now, which is the second workout of the iF3 2020 World Cup. It is a women's age group 50 to 54. We have 5 athletes from across the world. Nicole Reichmuth from Switzerland. We've got Camilla Argren from Sweden. And we have Mahir Francois from France and Anne Sonova Lynchken on the screen. We also have another athlete, Fiona Robertson, all the way in the UK, who's having some technical difficulties. But as you can see from the leaderboard that we have on the screen, Mahir Francois from France, phenomenal effort for her in the opening test, rowing 2,166 metres. That gave her the win in that opening test. Now, Fiona Robertson in the UK, who we've had some technical difficulties with, but we are having reports and some bits of footage sent over to us that she had 2,060 to claim second place, so she's now currently second. Nicole Reichmuth in third with just over 1,700. And Anne Sonova Lynchken just under 1,700, and Camilla Argren slightly behind with 1,638 metres. So that is the leaderboard. We've got Mahir Francois as the female to catch right now. As you can see, she's now moved on to her deadlifts as she begins, or she continues, should I say, the second test, which is a 3 rep max of shoulders to overheads and 3 rep max deadlifts with the overhand position. So Mahir Francois, current leader after the opening test. As we see Nicole here, extend out for her shoulder to overheads, completing her third and final rep, I believe it is. Once again, using the split jerk, steps it up and holds it. Well done. I lied, she has 1 more to go. Bit of a pause here. And sticks the rep nicely as she now posts her score, or continues her score as we move through the 15-minute workout. Now, this workout did start at the 35-minute mark. We're just approaching the 40-minute mark, which means we've got just over 10 minutes remaining for athletes to get their scores up for this second test. And just repeating, we have completed the first test with Mahia Francois on top of the leaderboard as we work our way through this second test. As mentioned before, guys and girls and ladies and gentlemen, it has been the common trend for athletes throughout the 3 days to begin with the shoulder to overhead, as we watch Mahia here failing that attempt there. So takes the weight belt off. Looks like she might have, I'm not sure if she's given up, but getting some coaching techniques from her coach there, probably suggesting not to push it as far forward as she did in that one. Try to get her body under it more with the weight, not as far forward. Let's see what she does right now. Does she move to the deadlift? She's putting the belt back on as she walks over to what appears to be a 3-rep overhand deadlift attempt here by Mahia Francois. Now, all the 5 athletes have already completed or posted a score for their shoulder to overheads. Mahia seems to have moved on to the deadlifts as she stands this one up and stands this one up with ease and makes light work of that. There you go. So Mahia officially has a score for both 3-rep maxes overhead and deadlift, as Camilla Argreen here goes for her second rep, split jerks that one there, and for her third and final attempt just sticks it. Well done. Bit of a struggle there with the third and final one, but definitely got that up there to complete the rep. And that weight seems to be at least a little bit heavier than what I saw before. So I dare say that she's increased her score there on that 3-rep overhead as we enter the final 8 minutes. So nearly the halfway point of the opening, or the second test, should I say, which is getting 3-rep maxes on the shoulder to overheads and the overhand deadlift. On day 3 of the 2020 iF3 World Cup. For those of you who are just joining in, guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, it has been an interesting iF3 2020 World Cup. Of course, we are doing this live online rather than in person, which is obviously the current world that we live in, with the pandemic taking place and so many restrictions preventing us from being in the same arena. But we have managed to put this together still, which is a testament to our sponsors, to our athletes, to our coaches, and the production and organisers behind the scenes. I am John. I am hosting from Melbourne, Australia. We have 5 athletes, all based in Europe at the moment, who are currently in their second test of 4-5 today. And they've just completed the first one with Mahia Francois from France, who is currently on screen at the moment. The current leader after the opening test did a phenomenal effort on the row here as she begins her, I believe, her second attempt of a 3-rep max deadlift, as she stands it up there and drops it with ease. So she's now posted a couple of scores there. As we have just under 7 minutes remaining. Now, as I mentioned before, there are some technical difficulties we are experiencing throughout this live broadcast. Of course, you can watch this on YouTube, wherever you are in the world. We have 5 athletes competing at the moment, 3 on screen at the moment. Technical difficulties have sort of popped up, but that's the life and the world we live in at the moment. We are doing our best to make sure that we get as much footage as we can to all the viewers out there. At the moment, we are just approaching the 44-minute, which means we have just over 6 minutes remaining for athletes to get their 3-rep max deadlift and shoulder to overhead. Now, most athletes have already posted a score. It's interesting to see how much more they do, how many more attempts they have, whether they go back to the shoulders or just focus on the deadlift. All athletes did start with a 3-rep max shoulder overheads, slightly increased that, and then worked on the deadlift. As we see Anne Synnøve Lynchken from Norway begin her deadlift, or the first rep of her 3, with the overhand position there, stands the second one up, and stands the third one up. Can't exactly tell you what weight that is, but it certainly looks like it's heavy enough for me to struggle with. So good effort there by Anne Synnøve, all the way over in Norway, representing Norway today. As you can see, there's a bit of daylight coming out of those windows in Scandinavia, so it appears that it's daylight there, because it is certainly nighttime in Melbourne, Australia, where I am right now. As we cross over to Nicola Reichmuth all the way over in Switzerland, where our production team is today. And a big hats off to the production team who've made it very easy for me to host today. A lot of work has been put in behind the scenes that the viewers probably don't see. So just a big thank you to them. As Nicole begins her 3-rep max overhand deadlift here. And while I'm at it, not just a shout out to all the production crew and organisers, but a big shout out to some of the partners that have made this possible. Craftmark, Northern Spirit, Chasing Better, Sportsworks. Big shout out to all you sponsors for helping out with this great event and, of course, making it possible that we can be here today. And, of course, a shout out to the athletes and coaches and organisers for this great event right now. Now we'll cross over to Mahia Francois. Now we are just ticking over to 46 minutes. There's only 4 minutes remaining, athletes and coaches. 4 minutes remaining to get your 3-rep max shoulder to overhead and 3-rep max deadlift. Currently, just over 10 minutes have been into this test. And as it's been the case for most of this weekend, it has been a case of shoulder to overheads first, followed by deadlifts. Interesting to see if we see any athletes go back for an extra shoulder to overhead. We know Mahia before had an attempt at a weight and failed on the first rep. At that point, she took her belt off and went straight to the deadlift. So I wonder if she'll make another attempt to try to get that weight that she just couldn't get before. See what her team decides here. Great also to see a lot of coaches around of athletes. It's easy to see what the athletes produce, and what we see on event day is the athletes, but there is so much more that goes into it, from judging to coaching to support networks. So these videos taking place at the affiliate gyms of most of these athletes or fitness studios, wherever they're training out of. And it's great to see that the athletes team are there to help and support and make this event possible. As we see Camilla Argren psyching herself up, getting ready for what appears to be an increased shoulder to overhead. Let's see what's happening here. There is just over 2 minutes remaining, ladies, or 2.5 minutes, should I say, in the women's 50 to 54 category age group. Now, I do not know what weights we are lifting. I just want to repeat that now. So it's hard for me as a host to predict or to estimate who is leading right now. And only a brave man would actually do so based on the discrepancies with plates these days. So I won't be making that estimate, but I will say that it's been a great effort so far by all the ladies, as we count down to just over 2 minutes remaining now. 2 minutes remaining, athletes. 2 minutes remaining. As Mahia now, with 2 minutes remaining, begins another 3-rep overhand deadlift with the belt on, of course. And she gets the first one up and puts it down. Maybe a bit too heavy for her here. Let's see what she does here. She's walking back to the bar. We hear some music in the background of one of the athletes. I believe it's Goldfinger, one of my favourite bands. We'll head back to Camilla Argren over here, who's about to start her deadlift. Stands the first one up, given a rep by the judge there. Stands the second one up, given a rep again. And this, for the third and final, stood up, posted, dropped. Well done. Well done, Camilla. As we now enter the final minute, athletes, there is now just 50 seconds remaining. 50 seconds remaining. Now is the time to get that final 3-rep max, if anyone is keen, as Mahia, the leader so far after the opening test, is chalking up her hands right now, psyching herself up with the weight belt on as she approaches the bar, looks at the clock. Here we go. 1, 2, and takes the third. Nice effort there. Nice effort there with just 15 seconds remaining right now. 15 seconds remaining. Athletes would want to be pretty quick right now if they're taking a third and final attempt right now as we approach the last 10 seconds. And it seems that the athletes have had enough. The weights are coming off. And the second test is now officially done. There you go. 15 minutes. athletes. Nice effort. When you get a chance, if the coaches and athletes could post their scores through to us, we can update the leaderboard and go from there. So just repeating, the 3-rep max shoulder to overhead and the 3-rep max overhand deadlift is now complete. The second test is done. It is now in the books. We'll calculate those scores and get an updated leaderboard to you all very shortly. We are just 10 minutes away from the third test, so we'll have a 10-minute break. I will run through all those details in just a short moment. We'll cross now to an advert of one of our sponsors. Back in just a moment.
Attention, they all want some. I'm like fire, hot as the sun. The dance floor is burning, call 911. Hands on my body, I'm loving the heat, but it won't come easy. Nothing's for free.
Over 2100, which is a phenomenal effort, puts her in first place. Now, the second test is just wrapped up, which was a 3-rep max shoulder to overhead and a 3-rep max deadlift with the overhand grip position. Athletes have just finished that workout, or that test, should I say, and are posting through their scores now. We will have an updated leaderboard very shortly once we accumulate those scores, differentiate between pounds and kilograms, and update that leaderboard, and we'll have it with you in just a short moment. But to give you a preview, we're literally only about 6 minutes away from the third test of the day. And now it's an interesting one. It is a bit of a short and sharp burst, a bit like Fran workout, really, if you think about it. We have, for time, 30 thrusters, followed by a 300 or 250 metre row for the females. So in this age group here, the females will be lifting 25 kilos, which is 55 pounds, and they'll then be rowing 250 metres row. So 30 thrusters at a relatively light weight, and then a 250 metre row. There is a 2.5 minute time cap in this workout, so no doubt the athletes will be going extremely fast and most likely unbroken on the thrusters, I dare say, and then go crazy on that rower again, just as they did earlier today. So we're just over 5 minutes away from beginning that workout, but for a better visual description, because I know that I can only talk words right now, we have a video description of it, and we'll show it to you right now. So here is a visual description of the third test on the final day of the 2020 iF3.
Test 3 of the Masters World Cup Final 2020 is a power test. 4 time, 30 thrusters, row 300 metres for men, 250 metres for ladies. There is a 2.5 minute cap on this event. On the start signal, the athlete will pick up their barbell and perform 30 thrusters at their prescribed weight. At the completion of 30 thrusters, the athlete will proceed to their rower and row the designated distance. Time will stop after the distance has been completed. For complete movement standards, please see the entries for rowing and thrusters in the International Functional Fitness Federation's Movement Standards document. Rowing requires athletes to row the specified distance without assistance of others and remain seated while rowing until the required distance has been completed. For the thruster, the athlete supports a barbell or other object.
The team from Mahia over in France, are we able to get a score from you?
Then elevates the object to a position directly overhead while
Mahia's
standing to
team,
full vertical
Mahia
extension
Francois,
above the body.
if we can get a coach to give us her lifting scores for that second test, that we much appreciated.
Good luck.
All right, guys, test 3, the power test here. How we want the video camera set up. You will be in your 4 meter by 4 meter square. Now, from the spectator, so from the camera right now, your rower is going to be on the left.
Are we able to get your scores
barbell
sent over
is
to
going
us
be on
for
the
that
right.
second test,
Now,
please?
when you're standing there looking out towards the camera, remember, that is going to be complete flip. Your roller is going to be on the right, barbell is going to be on your left. We want everyone to have the exact same standards here. So once again, from the spectator perspective, rower on the left, barbell on the right.
Good stuff before. Are we able to have your
facing
scores
the
for your
camera.
lifts? Here we go. Coming over now. Thank you very much. All right. If you could just hold it there for us.
63.
Und 110.
Boah.
Okay. There you go. 170 kilos. Thank you very much there.
Das hat die Welle gesehen. Das hat die Welle gesehen. Weil sie ist beim ersten schlecht gesehen und oben. Und jetzt macht sie 63.
Gut, vielleicht ist sie wirklich all out gegangen. Du hättest... Genau, du hättest mehr können, wenn du hättest wollen. Du hast jetzt einfach wegen dem Thrusters noch nicht zurückgehalten. Das ist...
All right, athletes, we are literally just over 2 minutes to go until the third test of the day. Can I please have all the athletes just getting themselves ready for the third test? It is just over 2.5 minutes until we begin it. Now, the time cap is 2.5 minutes, and just again, a recap for everyone out there viewing, coaches and athletes and everyone. It is 30 thrusters at a weight of 25 kilos or 55 pounds for the women aged 50 to 54. They'll then follow it up with a 250 metre row. So a 2.5 time cap on this workout. It would literally, I believe, be a case of 30 unbroken thrusters and a quick as possible transition to that row to get those 250 metres as fast as possible. I've been seeing over the last few days all athletes or most athletes go unbroken at this weight. So I dare say we'll be seeing a very similar strategy by all the female athletes here. As we have just over 1.5 minutes remaining until we begin the third test. Now, I do have some unofficial scores coming through from across the world after that second test. And Synnøve Linchen from Norway seems to be from what I can see so far, the early leader with 205.5 kilograms. So that's the biggest score coming through so far. We are still yet to update the leaderboard in its entirety right now, but we will get that through you shortly. We now only have 1 minute to go before the third tests. So athletes, get in your positions. Just over 50 seconds remaining. Of course, I'll update the leaderboard with those scores after this workout. It is a short and sharp one, so do not go anywhere. Keep your eyes on this screen as we enter the last 40 seconds before the third test, involving thrusters and a row and a time cap of 2.5 minutes. So get ready for some fast action. 30 seconds remaining, athletes. 30 seconds remaining. $20 seconds remaining. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's go. And we'll cross over to Camilla Argren first of all, who seems to have started slightly before on the feed from what we can see right now as she goes to her 30 thrusters. Seems to be making light work of that 25 kilo barbell, I believe it is. And Mahia Francois showing some nice depth and overhead extension there as she works her way through the 30. And Nicole Reichmuth, the Swiss competitor representing Switzerland today, once again also making light work of that weight as they push through the 30 reps. Let's see if Camilla Argren can go unbroken. She's yet to drop the bar, and the judge has his hand up to show that he's now into her final rep, I believe. There you go. She drops the bar and jumps to the rower. Now, she's the first to roll. Keep in mind that we are having a slight delay in some of the screens here, so while she may finish first, it doesn't necessarily mean she's won the workout. But unofficially, she is the first one to a row as she begins those 250 metres as fast as she can. Now, Francois also onto her row as Nicole Wright now opts into hers as well. So all the athletes are now onto their rower, all going unbroken on the thrusters as they quickly go through that 250 metre row. Camilla Argren, the IPSA, will be finished very shortly. She appears to be going through the final. It's very hard to see without seeing the screen. To give you an idea, it's roughly a 45-second row for these athletes. Roughly going on what most of them capable of. So it really would be a case of breaking that one up and have like been stuck in. There is just over 35 seconds remaining, athletes, as Camilla Argren is done there. So we keep a close eye to what her time is eventually, as Mahia Francois now going pretty hard there as she finishes hers. And over in Switzerland, Nicole Reichmuth just wrapping up hers too. Now keep in mind, just because these athletes finish at different times, they did start at different times as well. The slight technical difficulties we're having here, so we are yet to see, but all of them going unbroken as Nicole there seems to have just wrapped up her workout. So there you go, all the athletes finishing inside the time cap of 2.5 minutes. As we hit that 2.5 minutes there you go, there's a sound pump. So all the athletes on the screen finishing the time cap of 2.5 minutes, all going unbroken with that weight of 55 pounds, and all going at a decent pace. I'm yet to know what exactly that pace is, but all rowing relatively fast to complete those 250 metres, and now sucking up the big ones as they try to get their heart rate down and prepare themselves for the fourth test of the day, the fourth and final for them, which is, it'll start in just over 7.5 minutes. So, just over 7 minutes, should I say. It's a 10-minute AMRAP involving pull-ups, handstand, push-ups, and kettlebell deadlifts and double unders. We'll run you through that workout in more detail in just a short break, though. As the athletes catch their breath, I want to catch mine as well. We're going to shoot to a short advert to thank our sponsors. Back with you in just a short moment. Okay, ladies and gentlemen from across the world, welcome back to the third and final day of the iF3 2020 World Cup. We are just 5 minutes away from beginning the fourth and final test of the women's age 50 to 54-year-old age group. Please forgive my clock, it didn't count up the hours. It is actually not just 5 minutes, it is 65 minutes. So we're just over the first hour. This is though the fourth and final test, but the updates on the leaderboard for all of those who are itching to find out who is currently leading. We have an update after the second test, which was of course the 3-rep max shoulder to overhead and 3-rep max deadlift. After that, we have Mahia Francois from France, who is still on top of the leaderboard. She came third in that workout, but still holds a 20-point lead over Anne Synnøve Lindchen. Now, Anne Synnøve Lindchen from Norway was the leader or the winner in that second workout, lifting a total combination of 205.5 kilograms. So, phenomenal effort by her. Second in that workout was Camilla Argren with 195 kilos. Fiona Robertson over in the UK did finish last in that workout, but still is third overall, tied with Camilla Argren and tied with Nicole Reichmuth. So an update on the leaderboard after the second workout. Keep in mind we have just completed the third test. Is Mahia Francois out in front with 155 points. And Synnøve Lindchen is second overall on 135 points, just 20 behind. And we have a three-way tie in third with Fiona Robertson, Camilla Argren and Nicole Reichmuth all on 90. That is after the second test. The third test is done and we are just currently updating our leaderboard. So bear with us. We will have an update on that third work after the third test very shortly. But more importantly, we are just over 3 minutes away from the start of the fourth test. Now, a wrap-up or an overview of what is involved in that. It is a 10-minute ANRAP, starting with 10 pull-ups, 10 handstand push-ups, 10 kettlebell deadlifts, and 30 double unders. Athletes will then move to the second round of that, which is 20 pull-ups, 20 handstand push-ups, 20 kettlebell deadlifts, and 60 double unders. Now, the workload keeps increasing by 10 all the way up until 50, which is obviously a far way away from many athletes. So, look, 10-minute AMRAP of pull-ups, handstand push-ups, kettlebell deadlifts, and double unders, increasing after each round in reps. That is the workout for 10 minutes, and that is the workout which is about to start in just over 2.5 minutes, or just under 2.5 minutes right now. So, athletes across the world right now, get yourselves ready. We are just over 2 minutes away from starting that fourth and final test to decide the winner of the women's 50 to 54-year-old age group. And once again, Mahia Francois, is your team please able to give us an update on your score for that workout, please? If you have a chance, please show us the score that Mahia recorded for that workout. If I can get the coach or someone to send through that time, here we go. 2 minutes flat. Thank you very much, Team Mahia Francois. And just going by the scores I'm seeing so far from that third test, 2 minutes has been recorded by Anne Synnøve Lindchen, 2 minutes and 1 second by Camilla Argren. We just saw then that Francoise was 2 as well, and Nicole Reichmuth 2:16. So yet to make that official, guys, but it looks like Mahia Francois from France will still be holding that lead after that third test. And without going into too much detail, because I haven't calculated it myself, it looks like Anne Synnøve Lindchen as well is just going to be 20 points behind heading into this final workout or this final test. So it seems to be, at the moment, no real change to the overall placings of the leaderboard. As athletes, we have 1 minute remaining for that final test. 1 minute remaining. So yeah, just quickly recapping, it appears that Mahia Francois will be the leader heading into this final test, with Anne Synnøve Lindchen just behind her by roughly 20 points. But of course, a three-way tie after the second test. Anything can happen, but yes, Francois at this stage seems to be holding the lead. As we enter the final 30 seconds to go.
Yeah, it's okay. Yep.
20 seconds remaining. 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin, athletes. And here we go, athletes now all starting their final test on day 3 of the 2020 iF3 World Cup, as Mahia Francois, the overall leader at this stage, completes her 10 pull-ups, butterfly kipping, now moves to the handstand, which she's once again kipping those 10, making very light work of it as well as she rips through those 10. Here we go. Some fast work by Team Francois at the moment, and she is now finished with that as she picks up the deadlift. So making, no, she's been no rep there. One more rep to go. Oh, sorry, she was a few short there. My bad. As she begins her kettlebells now. So a bit of a setback there for Mahia Francois. Moving to the kettlebells quickly and doing a couple of false reps on those kettlebell deadlifts because, unfortunately for her, no repping earlier. We'll move across the world as well, see how we're going in other areas. As Mahia begins her double unders, she'll be aiming to go unbroken on the 30. So just an update, this is a 10-minute workout, ladies and gentlemen, 10 minutes. And the reps are increasing from 10s up to 20s, up to 30s, up to 40s each round. The double unders in. Pull up with relative ease. As we just get Anne Shanova-Lynch now rejoining us after dropping out with technical difficulties before. Now, athletes, we are just 5 minutes remaining in this AMRAP. 5 minutes remaining in this AMRAP. It is the halfway point for all you athletes now. as Mahia continues to bash through those pull-ups. And over here, Nicole Reichmuth, who I believe is just finishing her second round. So there you go. She's about to pick up her rope now. And from what I believe, will be starting 60 double unders as she tries to maintain a relative close gap between her and Mahia Francois, which so far is the video leader from what we've seen. Because keep in mind, we do have two athletes. We have Fiona Robertson in the UK that is still competing, but we don't have her feed, and Anne Synnøve Lindshen from Norway, who is currently having some technical difficulties. But we do have her back in some capacity at the moment, although the feed is still causing us some issues. So we'll go to the leader at the moment, the overall leader, which is Mahia Francois, and she's currently into her third round of this 10-minute AMRAP. She's struggling there at the moment, though. It looks like she might have no rep that pull up there. Here we go. Going back to the butterfly technique she has, as she slowly chips away at those 30, breaking it down to reps of 2 at the moment. And there you go. It appears she's finished the 30. She moves to a handstand. Now, Mahia Francois has been ripping through these handstand push-ups with ease, chipping her way through it. Now she's starting 30. Let's see if she can continue this great form. And it seems that she will, as she great technique there in her handstand push-up kicking at the moment, making very light work of this. Very impressive stuff right now. She goes to go 10 unbroken at the moment, it appears. As we approach the final 3 minutes, athletes, less than 3 minutes remaining. And phenomenal effort by Mahia Francois. I believe she's at least 16 reps deep in the 30 at the moment and has not come off that wall yet. So definitely showcasing her fantastic gymnastic ability at the moment. Well, it seems like she might have been no rep there though. As she busts through at least 20 there. Phenomenal effort by Mahia Francois. I think she might have done unbroken. There you go. She's a leader for a reason, and she picks up those kettlebells to begin her third round of 30. Phenomenal effort there by Mahia Francois. That is a great effort to go unbroken. Now, Nicole Reichmuth and Camilla Grant starting their double unders at the moment as they battle through. As we enter just over 2 minutes remaining, athletes, just over 2 minutes remaining. Two minutes remaining, athletes, as Camilla Hargreen now picks up the right to finish through these 60 double unders, I believe is. Nice form there at the moment. As she begins, moves on to the pull-ups now. Now, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, we were at a three-way tie last time, third place, between Camilla Hargreen, Fiona Robertson, and I believe Nicole Reichmuth. So while it appears to be a two-horse race for the overall competition win, it's definitely up for grabs this third and final spot on the podium. As Mahia Francois, at this stage, appears to be the video leader at least, and we say the video leader because Anne Synnøve Lindshen from Norway is having some technical difficulties, and of course Fiona Robertson, we can't see her feed at the moment, so we're not sure what those athletes are posting. And just letting the viewers know that Anne Synnøve Lindshen was 20 points behind Mahia Francois, who's on screen at the moment leading into this final test. So she will need to at least win this test to have any chance of claiming victory today. As we enter that final minute, athletes, just 50 seconds remaining in the fourth and final test of the iF3 2020 World Cup for the women aged 50 to 54-year-old. On screen right now is Mahia Francois from France, who is the current leader on the leaderboard, and currently right now is a video leader too, as she has absolutely made light work of this workout so far, has shown great gymnastic ability on the pull-ups and the overhead handstand push-ups, and now breezing through her double unders. As we enter the last 15 seconds now, athletes. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that is a wrap. Ladies, congratulations. That is a wrap now. Test 4 is in the books. And that is it across the world females women's division 50 to 54 is now wrapped up. Great effort by all the athletes across the world. We have had some technical difficulties, so we will have to see what happens with this leaderboard before we crown the victor. But heading into that final test, it was Team Mahir Francois from France that was in the lead, and Anne Shanova-Lynchen from Norway, who was second. It appeared to have been a two-athlete battle for who's going to claim victory, and it seems that so far, Anne Camilla Argren, I dare say, was the unofficial winner of that event so far out of those three athletes. Once again, Team Mahir Francois, can we please get a score when you are ready, just so we can update that leaderboard? Once you tick off that score, can you please send it over to us so we can calculate that leaderboard? We have been a little bit slow in getting your scores, and we just want to make sure that we get that updated leaderboard as soon as possible. So when it's ready, guys, please send through that score. Now, keep in mind, guys, we have just started our broadcast for today. This women's division 50 to 54 is, of course, the first, and we have plenty more to come. Coming up next, we do have the women's 55 to 60-year-old category. My bad, I'm getting ahead of myself there. So just recapping this, after this, we have the women's 45 to 49, Then, following that, we have the men's 35 to 39-year-olds, the boys 15 to 16-year-old, then the boys 17 to 18, the men's 40 to 44, and finishing off the whole iF3 2020 World Cup with the women 30 to 34. So we are just kicking off proceedings with the women's 50 to 54 age bracket. Once again, Team Mahir Francois, if you could please send through your scores. As soon as you get a chance, we can update that leaderboard. And here we go. We are getting a score of 360 plus 3 pull-ups. So 360 plus 3 pull-ups from Team Mahir Francois. Thank you very much. So just recapping, guys, it is a bit tough for a lot of viewers across the world watching this because, of course, we do have many scores coming in from different places and technical difficulties in and amongst all of this. So just to recap, to give you an idea, Mahir Francois from France was leading heading into that final test. From what we saw of those 3 videos, she was the unofficial winner of that final test. We are still yet to get Anne Shanova-Lynchen's video and Fiona Robertson's video. Once we get their scores, we can have a proper identification of the leaderboard. But from the information I'm seeing and hearing right now, if Anne Shanova-Lynchen did win that workout and Mahir Francois was 3rd or lower, then the title would slip away from her and go to Anne Shanova-Lynchen. Of course, if Mahir Francois wins that, that is hers. And so far, she looks like she is in a winning position. But of course, we are yet to update that leaderboard there. So stay with us, guys. We will just shoot to a short break right now, and we will come back with an updated leaderboard, and we will have the results of the women 50 to 54-year-old group on day 3 and the final day of the 2020 iF3 World Cup. But right now, a short break, and back with you shortly. And also, athletes, just a reminder that it would be great if I could possibly have an interview with some of you, if possible. Now, I understand that there may be some language barriers across the world, so I totally understand if that is not possible. But if there is some English fluency among all of you, I would love to have a chat with some, particularly the winner today, but totally understand if that is not possible. So we will cross that bridge when we have to. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, we have these scores. They are in for the women's age 50 to 54-year-old category. And it was a close one in the end, but Mahier Francois from France has been crowned the champion of the 2020 iF3 Women's World Cup, age 50 to 54-year-old. She did come first in that final workout with just over 363 reps, finishing with 355 points. And Shinova Lynchen from Norway was second with 290 points. Fiona Robertson in the UK, who we have not seen due to her technical difficulties, came third with 180 points. Camilla Argren, fourth with 160, tied with Nicole Reichmuth with 160 points. But a big round of applause for our champion, our iF3 Women's 50 to 54-year-old category champion from France, Mahier Francois. Round of applause. Thank you very much. Now, Mahier, my French is quite poor. I'm hoping your English is a little bit better than my French. Are you able to tell us how you feel right now? Hold on 1 second. I'm just going to... Wait a second. I'm just going to unmute the microphone. Give me 1 second. Hold on. I'm having some difficulty with your audio, Mahier. If it's possible, you could turn it on, please. If you could turn the volume on, please. There we go. We've got you. Lovely. Mahier, can you please tell us how you feel right now? Congratulations.
Thank you. Very good.
Now tell me, you could not see Anne Shinova Lynchen. You did not know her score. You had no idea how she was going. So what was going through your head on that final workout, that final test? Did you have a strategy?
Ben, moi, ce que je ressentais, en fait, moi, j'ai fait ma compétition, tout simplement. Ah, bah, tu peux traduire. Ouais, bien.
We've got a translator coming in. This is fantastic.
Yeah. She just said that she just made his own competition. So, no.
Okay. Well, I must say, Mahier, I was very impressed with your handstand push-up ability. It seems you have got quite a good gymnastic ability there. Is that something that you have been working on? Was that part of your tactic to go unbroken? Because you look very proficient in your handstand push-ups.
Ouais, mais bon, too easy. Après, j'étais avec un AMAP.
Yeah, she just got the AMAP, so she was quite easy for her.
Now, you've got quite a large team around you. It seems like you've got a very good support network. Is there anyone you'd like to thank for getting you where you are right now?
Est-ce que tu veux nous remercier d'être ici?
Bah, bien sûr, c'est quand même une super compétition et un bon test de conditions physiques. Ah, par rapport à vous. Ah merde.
Est-ce que tu as une bonne team?
Ah bah oui, large. Bah attends, je présente Ben aussi, le coach. He's coach. He's coach.
Hi everyone.
Very well, thank you. Congratulations on your victory today. Can you tell us now what's the plan from here? Where does Team Mahier Francois go after today's victory?
CrossFit Games.
Portugal. First Portugal and win the competition. And after CrossFit Games, go back to CrossFit Games in his category.
Lovely. Well, first of all, we want to see you guys in Portugal. So once again, congratulations today. Great effort.
Thanks.
And we'll see you in Portugal. Thank you very much. Well, we'll head over to Switzerland. Nicole Reichmuth. Have we got you there, Nicole? If we could get you to please unmute yourself as well. I know.
That's it.
Have I got? Yep, that's good to go.
Yeah.
Nicole.
Yeah.
Hello.
I'm good.
Congratulations on today. How are you feeling right now?
Thank you. I survived.
You survived. Now tell us, what was your plan and strategy heading to that final workout? of course, it was a bit hard with the leaderboard being sort of not updated at the stage. What was going through your mind during that final workout?
Just go for it and have fun and survive.
And survive. Now, what time is it over there in Switzerland? What time is it?
We have now 9:30.
In the morning.
Yep.
So as an athlete, as a preparation for you, what time are you getting up this morning? What time are you getting up?
Too early, at 6.
At 6?
Yep.
Oh, that's not too early.
Oh, for me, it's too early.
Now, tell us, I'm sure that you'd be familiar with some of these athletes. What do you have to say about Mahia Francois from France? A fantastic performance by her today. Did you expect that result? What were your thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, I expected because we was together in the French throwdown last year, and then she went to the games. So I know that she is a really, really good athlete, and congratulations to her.
No, of course. It was a great effort. And it was a great effort by you as well. And I'd like to say very much a thank you for you and your team for getting the video working, for contributing to this great live feed. Of course, our production crew could only do so much. It can't be done without yourself and the rest of your team. So thank you very much for today. Congratulations on a great performance, and we'll hope to see you back next year. Thank you very much.
Yep. Bye-bye.
No worries. Congratulations. And once again, Mahia Francois and your team, congratulations on a great victory. That is a wrap for now. We will be back very shortly with the women's 45 to 49-year-old category. So take a short break and we'll be back after this one. Thank you very much, everyone.
Anna Quast, die ist schon wieder Kelly Green.